Colossians 1:12, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. Okay, so we're getting to the fourth aspect of walking worthy. Remember, he is in a prayer for the Colossians, and that he has asked that they would be filled with the knowledge of his will to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord. So that involved fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit and increasing, being strengthened. And now the fourth thing is giving thanks. We need to be giving thanks. Now, remember, and he's saying here, we need to give thanks to the Father. And there's a little bit of a question in translation about where to put the little prepositional phrase with joy. Some translations will put it in the verse previous, talking about endurance with joy, but I think he's probably talking about giving thanks with joy. And he's going to return to this idea of thanks a lot. And it's also other words that come from this particular family about grace and having words of grace. So here we have these giving thanks with joy. And remember that Paul is writing from prison. So for him to be writing from prison, talking about patient endurance and giving thanks with joy, that means so much to these Colossians. And so we're giving thanks to the Father because we are all in the same family. And because we are in God's family, he has qualified us. He has qualified us to share in his inheritance, right? Remember, we are sons and daughters of God. We are co-heirs with Christ. We are united with Christ. And part of being united with Christ is that we have his inheritance, and the irony is that we have an inheritance not for when God dies, but when we die, we receive this inheritance. And we already have some of the first fruits now because we are filled with Christ. And Christ, remember, the Spirit of God from Ephesians is a down payment guaranteeing this inheritance, but this is the inheritance we have is now Christ. It's not the land from the Old Testament. Our inheritance is Christ, and we have been qualified for it because Christ is in us. We share in God's DNA. He has put his Holy Spirit in us, and we are heirs of his kingdom, so that we now are able to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. Remember, saints here again, is these are holy ones. We have been made holy. We've been made holy because of our union with Christ, that God has united us with Christ. And so because of that, we are holy, and we're able to share in this inheritance, in this kingdom. He's getting ready to qualify or to contrast the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. But because he's qualified us, because we have his inheritance, that really will go along with being strengthened. It will go along well with our perseverance and can help us have a confident assurance and a genuine biblical hope.